Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, we will be talking about, yes, you see that right, a rare and potentially dangerous winter storm. Now, this isn't any sort of clickbait or hype, it's a reality, and it's really not that far out. This system, if it were to occur, which I personally think it will be very likely to occur, will be occurring this upcoming Thursday and Friday, so less than a week out. Now, this isn't anything that's just historic or whatnot, but it's definitely a rare event. We've had snowstorms in May before, but definitely I don't think we've had one this late at such scale. That I'll show you in just a minute. In at least a few years. So, and the danger that I think will come from this snowstorm isn't really from the snow, but from the severe weather side of this system. So yes, of course, I mean at this time of the year there are multiple phases to any storm that occurs, and obviously if it has snow, it's gonna have severe weather in May. Before I do, I just want to say that if you are new to this channel, hello and welcome. I talk about the weather. I make weather videos, and this is kind of what people I guess like hearing about from me, right? Talking about the weather. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, check out the other videos and see if this channel is for you. Obviously, watch the video first, though. And without further ado, let's get into this without wasting time and blabbling on. So, I want to show you, first off, not the storm that is the main kind of focus of today's title or today's video. Before I get into that, I want to show you a threat for severe weather tomorrow across the Northeast. We're into Monday. So if you live across New Jersey, Pennsylvania areas, up along the East Coast, you may be seeing some storms today already. However, the main threat comes tomorrow. Now, there is an enhanced risk. I don't think they will be upgrading that any further. They might. If they do, it doesn't really matter. You should prepare either way for some nasty for some nasty storms from this little system right here. So this thing is still further back in Indiana, Illinois, as of Sunday afternoon, 5 p.m. when I'm recording this Central Time. And I noticed that throughout the day or throughout the night, this thing kind of quietly goes through Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, eventually into Pennsylvania. Not really severe. Some storms around Kentucky, eastern Kentucky, and western West Virginia could be a little bit severe and have strong winds, maybe a small hail. But once the daytime heating gets going, we see really a push of energy from this system. Not only from obviously the daytime heat, but the system actually intensifies and it strengthens rapidly. So notice it is right there developing a pretty nasty line as of 12 p.m. tomorrow. So again, this is for the Eastern time. This is 1 p.m. as this is in Central time. Notice as I push this forward, right, Pittsburgh, large city in western Pennsylvania, you'll be seeing these storms pass through your area really early in the morning, 8, 9, right, maybe even 10, so maybe even after the morning commute. Not everyone will get a storm. It seems that this line won't be yet fully organized, though definitely if you get under one of these, you will be drenched with rain. Notice as this progresses further east, we see a quickly developing line of storms that really organizes itself in terms of its structure. It's almost completely linear. You can see it's actually very impressive. There are going to be some storms out ahead of this main line. Those could definitely also produce large hail and have torrential rain. I'm not too concerned about the flooding as these areas aren't really too wet. And notice that this system's progressive, right? It's very quick. It doesn't drag around for a while. While yes, there could be some nasty storms, some ponding because of how heavy the rain will be falling, long-term effects shouldn't be bad. But notice by 3 p.m. this thing is popping off anywhere from Delaware, Maryland, into all of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York is under the threat for these storms. Notice Vermont, New Hampshire also seeing these little almost supercell-like systems developing. And do note that probably the biggest threat will be wind and hail from this, though an isolated tornado is definitely a possibility as well. The big cities, right? I mean, Philadelphia, this tears through at around 5 p.m. So later in the afternoon, New York City, closer to 6, if not 7. Upstate New York, similar timing. And then it does eventually spread into Connecticut, Rhode Island. It may be weakening. It may not be. It's hard to tell, especially with an event that is as kind of micro, if you will, as, just a thunderstorm. It does seem that the chances earlier on in the day will be higher for a stronger storm. And as the day goes on, the storm chances, at least for their severity and overall, do go down. But do note that this system right here really quickly intensifies in terms of its low pressure and really slows down. And what this does is throughout the night, it does bring those showers through Maine and New Hampshire, but it slows down around Canada, bringing some thunder showers, rain, and just a moderate to heavy rain. So a pretty good rain event, and that does eventually kind of skedaddle out of here. But you can see it's rather slow as this thing does produce some wraparound right there, 1 p.m. on Tuesday. So these storms could also be a bit nasty for areas just east of Lake Ontario here. So in terms of the total accumulated precipitation, again, where these storms do occur, there will be obviously a brief, maybe even up to 2 inches if you get overlap of 2 storms. But again, that shouldn't be a cause for concern. The main cause is, again, just the hail, wind, and lightning, obviously, and heavy rain. Notice further up north where that system stalls out, there could be a decent amount across southern Canada. All along the St. Lawrence River, there is a pretty good amount of rain that will be falling, and that is definitely something that I guess you should prepare for, or just take into account if you have any activities outside or whatnot, if this could disturb it. I do want to show you that the temperatures out ahead of this front will be very kind of playing into the fact why this thing is so dangerous, if you will, or more dangerous than usual. So this is 6 a.m. tomorrow. So again, not far out. 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 11. You can see clearly there's the front. We have pretty warm temperatures, 70s, 80s. A lot of the Northeast has been very chilly and crummy thus far, kind of like the Midwest. So these nice temperatures will be pretty much ended by this passing of this front. Not permanently, but at least for the the time being into the rest of at least Monday. Once that thing comes through, nightfall comes, and it's definitely chilly. And you can see the day after, temperatures do try rebounding, but not quite. But yeah, so that's the little event that I wanted to show you. But let's go back and focus on this big beast that I've been, what the title is about, because that's not the storm I'm worried about, not even close. Though obviously it is a concern. The main one I'm worried about is further out. So again, there's our system that I just showed you right there on the GFS model. Again, you can see right there exploding into tomorrow afternoon, and it does eventually swivel off. It will swivel off into Canada. But the main thing I'm worried about is again, not even this storm. This is going to be a precursor. There could be some severe weather associated with this across Iowa, maybe the northern plains, some rain. Again, that is not the main one. The main one is right here. Notice we have a piece of energy moving into the Pacific Northwest as of late Wednesday. We do have already energy that's kind of moisture, more or less, getting sucked up from the south. So we have many pieces, if you will, coming together. Notice this thing here is impressive. Some decent mountain snow, pretty cold temperatures there. So this is now early Thursday and into the midday now Thursday. Notice this thing is progressing pretty quickly. We do have a lot of snow on the backside of this already. There are some pretty chilly temperatures here, meaning, near potentially records in terms of the cold and or temperature wise. And I do note that out ahead of the storm, the warm front, if you will, there could be some nasty storms. That is definitely a concern. But the main threat on Thursday, according to the Storm Prediction Center, is really the northern plains and kind of Minnesota, Wisconsin. We'll have to see exactly if that's the case, as it is kind of far out, but that's definitely a concern. Notice definitely Michigan, southern Michigan, late Thursday is under the gun for that. Notice into Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, we have decent rains and decent snows. As this system intensifies into Friday, notice we have a decent broad area of snow. Again, the snow isn't the most concerning part because there won't be that much of it. There will be several inches, but I'm assuming a lot of these areas across North Dakota haven't planted their crops yet or whatnot, so the losses shouldn't be big. It's really the cold front of the system that's going to be nasty. Now, obviously, the snow still could be pretty significant in some areas, so I don't want to discount that completely. But notice that this thing is still, may not look organized, but for a summer storm, really, it's already May 20th, almost summer. Meteorologically, summer starts June 1st, astronomically 21st. But that doesn't matter. It's pretty late in the year for such a well-organized snowstorm. This thing, you can see the GFS, it shows this measly cold front, and it's underestimating this most likely because on a Friday, the threat is pretty high for a good portion of the United States. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk issued already for Friday for a massive area of the United States across pretty much where you see this cold front right now. So that means that there definitely will be an enhanced issued maybe even a moderate by that time. We've had, many moderates already issued this year, and it seems as if these big storms are just, producing this. And yeah, so again, snow's one side. Notice that again, some thunderstorms, some nasty ones potentially across the north, and because of this cold air, how cold it's on the backside, mixing with the warm air. Notice, these things will be two extremes fighting with each other. There could be some severe weather that is rather nasty and potentially, damaging. So that's why I'm calling this a rare, because it's rare to have snow so late in the season, and dangerous storm because of how dangerous this may be. Not necessarily for one given area, just for a huge portion of the United States. And notice this thing continues into the east, south, produces a lot of thunderstorms, spins up some activity across the south. And it does bring a bit of cool air. So if you're wanting cool air across the United States, you'll get it, and it might actually be pretty cool for a lot of areas. Meaning, very, very cool. So notice this is, say, the daytime high. So you can see the East Coast next weekend, according to this model, will be absolutely hot. I mean, balmy, right? Or not balmy. Well, yeah, I guess balmy for this time of the year. And notice that the cold air behind it is rather chilly, right? 40s, 50s for a good portion of the Midwest. Again, not sustained long. There will be more warm air that pushes through, and that is that. In the long term, yes, there's even more stuff after this system. We have to keep an eye on this. There's a developing tropical storm, some sort of cyclone that the models have been indicating for a while. If you recall, I made a video on it several days ago. And look what the GFS does from the previous model run, so the one at noon today. It takes this system, it makes landfall across Florida, and it combines with another system that is further west. Again, this is far out, but what I'm trying to say is that this system will probably definitely play into the weather across a good portion of the United States. And look, it combines into like this massive rainstorm for a good portion of the United States. So definitely interesting. We'll have to watch out for that. But overall, the theme is that the pattern's active. Look, I mean, another system comes right after that. Probably more severe weather threat, very prolonged. Another system, moisture flow is very well organized. There's a lot of things to keep track of. Let me show you this total snowfall. Let me take you for let's, I guess, take a look at I want to show you the most recent model run, because on this website, if I show you the GFS, which I showed you this system, right, the most recent goes out to 180, but the snowfall forecast on layout, or I guess layer on this map, always lags behind. It only goes out to 72 hours, so it doesn't capture this system. I'll show you what the GFS showed previously, so just a few hours ago with this system. Let me just play this forward. You can see it did show snow, so this is what it showed today at noon, and this is what it shows now. And I'm going to show you this on this website, as I think here it stays more up to date to that snow layer, and I'll apply it. So again, same model, just a different website and just a different layout. Notice that some of the snow could be actually very impressive. Some areas, I mean, 21, hopefully it's not that high, but it definitely can be. I don't think the ratio will be 10-1. I think it will be lower, as it will be very heavy wet snow. But yeah, if that will cause problems of its own. Thankfully, it's pretty far north, so it's, I guess, better than if this were to occur across Minnesota. All right, but yeah, definitely concerning. But I'm sure it won't be. I don't think it'll really get up to 21 inches. Though I don't want to underestimate it, right? We've seen so many systems this year that, right, especially that one across North Dakota that dropped, I think 40 inches almost, or over. I know it was over 30 across. I think it was 36 in Minot. It was a record-breaking system. So that is that. By the way, that was a GFS. A model like the European. Look what this one shows. Even more snow. A bullseye of up to 30 inches further south. So I'm trying to show you that there is consistency between the models. They agree on this system, and they've been showing this for a while, right? So again, this is today's, or that little first system. The European shows that tomorrow. Again, that's little, but obviously if you're struck by that storm, you won't really think it's little, so just prepare for it. I'm just speaking, calling it little on a grand scale of things. It's going to be pretty small compared to the one that's coming up, but yes, definitely still impressive. There could be some snow across southern Canada. That is further north, so that's not completely unheard of, unusual. And do note that on Wednesday, right, we do have that little intermediate system. It presses through the Midwest. There could be some thunderstorms, severe weather. But again, our main focus of interest is this guy. Notice it starts spinning up lots of rain. Again, Thursday, the biggest threat is across the Midwest. You can see the European shows that very well. Big lines of storms developing across both the Dakotas, Iowa, Minnesota. And of course, that rain transitioning over to snow, potentially at very heavy rates. And then on Friday, we have that big day potentially for severe weather across the United States. Again, where this sets up, up? Is it going to be at this, this kind of area, really Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, and not develop for cities like Chicago? You can see kind of avoids it. Or is it going to develop earlier, or maybe just be a lot weaker than what the model is showing right now? There's still a lot of uncertainty, but yes, the cold air behind this definitely makes this cold front a lot more potent. And notice it spreads way into the northeast onto Saturday. And again, just like the other models, it shows a good swath of very chilly air moving in. Again, short-lived. We do see another pump of very warm air after that. And with that, obviously, more moisture and more storm threat. And that is definitely something worth watching. And that is that pretty much from the European and GFS. Let me now go back to the GFS and actually go back to this website and show you the Canadian. So this is a third model. I know I've showed you two already, but this is a third one. Again, shows that system tomorrow across the northeast and into really Tuesday and Wednesday, depending on where you live. In southern Canada, it's going to be more for Tuesday and Wednesday. There's that intermediate system, and then look, there's that big one that we're talking about. Lots of severe weather. Canadian, interestingly, does show snow, just not nearly as much as what the Canadian or European and GFS show. It does show still a pretty strong cold front and a large blast of cold air. And behind that, it does show continued activity. So all models show, in terms of the kind of the macro details, they are in very good agreement, I would say. And yeah, so that is that. And let me go back to this GFS. I just want to check out this curiously. Okay, see that's the thing, because the GFS has been showing this tropical storm, whatever, this system at around hour 180 appearing across the Gulf of Mexico, and the model, like the European model on in model that is often used, I don't think it really shows that. Okay, this is way too zoomed in. I want to see if maybe it shows it further back here. Because, if it's just the GFS showing it, then I guess that's less concerning, right? But, yeah, and it doesn't look like the European will be developing anything. And this is kind of, I'm just checking this out for myself because I'm honestly curious. And obviously, I'm meeting that GFS model with its, well-developed tropical system this early on in the year with tons of speculation, which is why I'm not making any videos about it. I'm definitely talking about it, though. I don't think the Canadian shows it either, in its forecast, and yeah, it really doesn't. We'll have to wait and see, though, because it definitely could be playing a role. If it's not, a direct storm, there probably will be just an influx maybe of moisture that could feed into a different system that's further north across the United States. So that is that. That is the main thing I kind of wanted to show you. I do want to show you another, I guess, high-res model. This one doesn't show the big system, but it just goes more into detail about what you can expect for the next 60 hours. So notice, right now when I'm recording it, this video, it's around 5 p.m. We do have a nasty line of storms developing across Indiana, Illinois, and Missouri. This model tends to overdo these storms with their colors, but it does kind of agree with the others. It develops the system into tomorrow. Notice again, pretty weak as it moves through Ohio, Kentucky, though there could be some nasty storms overnight. But by tomorrow, when the day approaches, the system starts strengthening. You can see it produces quite a bit of activity across the Northeast and definitely could be a little cause for concern. By hour 40, so this is now into late Monday, early Tuesday, developed storms across the Midwest again from that middle system, but not that main one yet. So that is definitely something to be watching for as well. And this is now the NAM model. It goes out even further, 84 hours. Again, it shows that system on Monday, so tomorrow. Again, definitely something to watch for. And it also does show that middle system, and it shows the beginning of this system starting to take shape. You could see out there with some, again, nasty squalls, nasty weather elements, and also that pretty impressive snow. And just to show you the temperature anomaly, so kind of from average, they take the temperature that the model is forecasting. And again, this is what's kind of really concerning about this. It'll be very cold, very warm. These conflicting air masses. Often, when you have historic severe weather outbreaks, you always have these, usually have these conflicting air masses, or at least some level of ingredient that is just very impressive. And it seems that this may be the case with this. Not that it will be historic, just that it has a lot of I guess things going for it to be very significant. And you can see the cool weather does spread out after that, but there are some signs of warmer getting pumped up back after that. And in fact, for temperatures, I'm just going to show you the GEFS. This is a long range kind of combination of many models combined to see what the trend is with the models. Are they favoring a warmer pattern, a cooler pattern? And notice that obviously in a short term, they are more oriented about, individual storms. Notice it's a bit not as extreme because there are some models that are weaker, some that are stronger, so it's kind of a nice, healthy average. But notice as you push out further, it's not as linear, right? Or it's not as I guess detailed. You don't really have specific warm air masses, hot, followed by cool. Like notice the first hours of this ensemble are filled with very specific details, right? Especially the first 100 hours. We have cool here, warm here, another warm air mass here. But the further out you get, it's just more kind of, you're looking for a pattern, right? So further out, you can see that the models start showing more of a cooler pattern, staying towards the Midwest and potentially the Northwest. Though again, the confidence is weak because the shading isn't significant. But I would say that, chances are if you live across the South, you're more likely to be warmer than average. Not just warmer, you'll obviously be warmer than the North, but based off average. And cooler air will be staying towards the North. And though again, towards the end, it seems as if that pattern will also be breaking, with warm air being more dominant. And I do think personally that this summer will be pretty hot for a good portion of the United States. Though again, there could be some weather extremes. A big system, and we have a massive cold blast. So I don't want to exclude that. But that's basically it. It's a longer video today, but hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. And I'll catch you all on the next episode. See ya.